Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship and watched the alien inspection team walk through the metal doors. His ship was called Terra's Hope, and it looked like a simple trading vessel. The aliens thought humans were weak and not very smart. They had no idea how wrong they were. The tall blue alien with 4 arms walked around the bridge. His name was Admiral Kethvar, and he came from a planet called Zephyr. He looked at the human controls and made a sound that meant he was not impressed. To him, everything looked old and simple. "Your technology is very basic," the alien said through his translator device. "How do you humans travel between stars with such simple machines?" Jake smiled and tried to look humble. "We do our best, Admiral. We know we are not as advanced as your people." This was exactly what the alien wanted to hear. For 5 years now, humans had been playing this game. They pretended to be simple traders who just wanted to sell things and buy things from other planets. The Galactic Council believed this lie completely. On the moon, Commander Lisa Carter sat in a hidden base deep under the surface. She watched the inspection through secret cameras on Jake's ship. Her job was to make sure the aliens never found out the truth about what humans could really do. The base around her was huge. Hundreds of people worked at computers and machines that the aliens had never seen before. They were building weapons and ships that would shock the entire galaxy. But for now, everything had to stay secret. "How is the inspection going?" asked her assistant, a young woman named Amy Rodriguez. "Perfect," Lisa said. "They see exactly what we want them to see." The truth was that humans were much smarter than any alien species in the galaxy. While the aliens used energy shields and plasma weapons, humans had developed completely different technology. They used solid metal bullets that moved incredibly fast. They built ships that could hide from any scanner. They created weapons that worked in ways aliens had never imagined. The aliens thought they were so advanced, but they had made one big mistake. They had become comfortable and lazy. They all fought the same way and used the same technology. Humans were different. Humans could adapt and change and think of new ways to solve problems. Back on the ship, Admiral Kethvar continued his inspection. He walked into the cargo hold where Jake kept boxes of goods to trade. The alien did not know that some of those boxes contained the most advanced military equipment in the galaxy. "What do you carry to trade?" the alien asked. "Simple things," Jake said. "Food, clothes, basic tools. Nothing fancy." The alien opened a few boxes and saw exactly what Jake had described. He did not bother to scan deeply because he was sure humans were too primitive to hide anything important. This was another mistake. In one corner of the cargo hold, hidden behind a false wall, was a scanning device that had been recording every detail about the alien ship. It measured their shields, their weapons, their engine power. The device was so advanced that it could learn everything about alien technology just by being near it. Danny Brooks, a young engineer, worked in the ship's engine room. He was new and did not know about the secret mission. He thought he was really just working on a trading ship. But today, something strange happened. While fixing a pipe, Danny accidentally opened a panel that was not supposed to open. Behind it, he saw technology that looked nothing like the simple engines he had been working with. These machines were smooth and powerful, and made no sound at all. "What is this?" he whispered to himself. Before he could look closer, Jake appeared behind him. "Danny, we need to talk," Jake said quietly. Jake led the young engineer to a small room where they could speak privately. It was time to tell Danny the truth, at least part of it. "What you saw back there is classified," Jake said. "Our ship is not exactly what it appears to be." Danny's eyes grew wide. "Are we spies?" "In a way, yes. But we are the good guys. The aliens think humans are weak and stupid. We let them think this because it keeps us safe. But we are actually much more advanced than they realize." "Why do we pretend to be weak?" Jake thought carefully about how to explain this. "Because the galaxy is full of dangerous species. If they knew how strong we really were, they might try to destroy us before we could defend ourselves. So we act weak and learn about them while they ignore us." Danny began to understand. "So, we are gathering information about their technology and their military." "Exactly. And when the time comes, We will be ready for anything they try to do to us." That evening, the inspection ended and the aliens left the ship. Admiral Kethavar was satisfied that the humans remained a harmless species of traitors. He had no idea that his ship had been completely scanned and analyzed. But as his ship moved away from Jake's vessel, warning signals began flashing on alien communication networks across the galaxy. A new message was spreading from the outer regions of space. The message came from a species called the hegemony. They were militant and aggressive and believed that only the strongest species deserved to exist. They had conquered many worlds and enslaved many alien races. The message was simple and terrifying. All inferior species must surrender within 72 hours or face complete destruction. This includes the primitive humans and any who support them. On the moon base, Lisa Carter received the message and immediately activated emergency protocols. The time for hiding was almost over. "Send word to all our hidden fleets," she ordered. "Operation Ghost Fleet is now active. Prepare for full revelation." Amy Rodriguez began sending coded messages to secret bases throughout human space. On dozens of worlds and space stations, people received orders they had been waiting 5 years to hear. The aliens thought they were about to destroy a weak species of traitors. They had no idea they were about to face the most dangerous military force the galaxy had ever seen. Humanity's greatest deception was about to end, and their true power was about to be revealed. Jake Morrison looked out at the stars and smiled grimly. Soon the aliens would learn what humans were really capable of. The galaxy would never be the same again. The message from the hegemony spread across human space like wildfire. Every human colony, every space station, every ship received the same threat: surrender in 72 hours or be destroyed. On the moon, Commander Lisa Carter stood in the control room and watched as her officers worked frantically at their stations. Red lights flashed and alarms buzzed softly. This was the moment they had prepared for during 5 long years of secret work. "Begin Protocol 7, she announced. Across human space, things that looked like empty space began to change. What appeared to be asteroids started moving. Fields of space debris suddenly showed signs of life. Cosmic dust clouds began to shift and part. The aliens had never bothered to scan these areas carefully. Why would they? There was nothing there but rocks and dust. At least that was what they had always believed. Captain Jake Morrison received his new orders while his ship drifted in what looked like empty space near Jupiter. The message was short but clear. "Drop the act. Show them who we really are." Jake turned to his crew and spoke over the ship's communication system. "Attention all hands, this is your captain. For 5 years we have pretended to be simple traders. That pretense ends now. Prepare for combat transformation." Danny Brooks, the young engineer, stood in the engine room with his mouth open as the ship began to change around him. Panels in the wall slid away to reveal weapons he had never seen before. The floor vibrated as hidden systems came online. "What is happening?" he asked Amy Rodriguez, who had come down to help with the transformation. "We are becoming what we really are," Amy said with a smile. "A warship." The ship's hull began to shift. Metal plates moved aside to show rows of weapons that had been hidden for years. What had looked like cargo containers were actually missile launchers. The simple nuclear engines revealed themselves to be much more powerful than anyone had imagined. Far away, at a hidden base near Saturn's rings, Fleet Admiral Kevin Nash watched as hundreds of ships revealed themselves. His flagship, which had appeared to be a research station, was actually a massive battleship called the New York's Fury. "All ships report ready for combat," his communications officer announced. Kevin looked at the tactical display and smiled. The aliens thought they would be fighting a few dozen primitive trading ships. Instead, they would face the most advanced space navy in galactic history. Dr. Patricia Lee stood in her laboratory deep inside the moon base and watched as her life's work finally came to light. She had spent years developing weapons and technology that would surprise every alien species in the galaxy. The key to her success was simple. She had realized that all the aliens fought the same way. They used energy shields to protect their ships. They fired plasma weapons that were very powerful, but moved slowly. They built their ships to fight other ships that used the same technology. Humans had chosen a completely different path. "Show me the test results from the kinetic weapons," Patricia said to her assistant. The screens around her displayed videos of human weapons destroying alien-style targets. Instead of energy beams, human weapons fired solid metal projectiles that moved at incredible speeds. The alien shields, designed to stop energy weapons, were completely useless against physical objects moving so fast. "The penetration tests are perfect," her assistant reported. "Their shields cannot stop our bullets or missiles." Patricia nodded with satisfaction. While the aliens had been perfecting energy weapons for thousands of years, humans had been developing something completely different. Their weapons were based on old Earth military technology, but improved with advanced materials and targeting systems. On a hidden base built inside what appeared to be a large asteroid, Captain Ben Walsh prepared his crew for their first real mission. His ship had been disguised as a mining platform for 3 years. Now it was time to show what it could really do. "All weapon systems are online," his tactical officer reported. "Kinetic cannons are loaded and ready. Missile tubes are armed." Ben looked at his crew. Most of them were veterans from Earth's military. They had volunteered for this secret mission because they believed that one day humanity would need to defend itself against hostile aliens. "Remember your training," Ben told them. "We fight differently than they do. We are faster, more aggressive, and more adaptable. Use those advantages." The hegemony fleet was already moving toward human space. Their ships were massive and powerful, armed with the best energy weapons in the galaxy. Their commanders were confident that they would easily destroy the primitive humans. General Throckmar stood on the bridge of his flagship and studied intelligence reports about human capabilities. According to the files, humans had no real military. Their ships were slow and poorly armed. Their technology was hundreds of years behind galactic standards. "This will be easier than conquering the Melody colonies," he told his second-in-command. "We will be finished in a few days." But as the hegemony fleet approached the outer edge of human space, their sensors began picking up strange readings. There seemed to be many more human ships than expected, and some of them were much larger than intelligence had suggested. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we are receiving a transmission from the humans." "Put it on the main screen," Throckmar ordered. The face that appeared was that of Fleet Admiral Kevin Nash. He looked calm and confident, not at all like someone who was about to be conquered. "General Throckmar," Kevin said, "I am Admiral Nash of the Human Defense Fleet. You have threatened our people and our worlds. This is your only chance to withdraw and avoid bloodshed." Throckmar laughed. "You dare threaten us with your primitive ships? We have studied your technology. You cannot possibly stand against the might of the hegemony." Kevin's expression did not change. "General, you have studied what we wanted you to study. You have no idea what we are really capable of. Last chance to turn around." The transmission ended. Throckmar was still laughing when his tactical officer called out in alarm. "Sir, our sensors are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the system. There are hundreds of human ships, and they are much more advanced than our intelligence indicated." "Impossible," Throckmar said. But as he looked at his tactical display, he could see that something was very wrong. The human ships were not moving, like primitive vessels. They were fast and organized and clearly designed for war. On the moon, Commander Lisa Carter watched as the first reports came in from the fleet. The aliens were beginning to realize that they had been deceived, but it was too late for them to retreat. "All human ships are in position," her tactical officer reported. "The enemy fleet is entering our engagement zone." Lisa nodded. "Send the signal to all commands. Operation Ghost Fleet is now fully active. Show them what humanity can do." Across human space, captains who had spent years pretending to be peaceful traders prepared for the fight of their lives. They had trained for this moment. They had built their ships for this moment. Now it was time to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. The hegemony was about to learn that they had picked a fight with the wrong species. The galaxy's most dangerous secret was about to be revealed, and nothing would ever be the same again. The final battle took place in the Centauri system. where the hegemony had gathered their most powerful fleet. Supreme War Leader Gathron commanded over 300 warships, the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. Admiral Kevin Nash waited for them aboard his flagship, the Constitution. This massive warship had been disguised as a deep space research station for 3 years. Now it revealed its true nature as the most advanced battleship ever built. Enemy fleet approaching, his tactical officer reported. 312 ships detected. All major vessel classes represented. Kevin studied the tactical display calmly. The enemy outnumbered his fleet 3-1, but he was not worried. Human military doctrine was based on quality, not quantity. All ships, this is Admiral Nash. Today we end the hegemony threat forever. Remember your training. Fight smart, fight hard, and show the galaxy what humanity can do. Captain Ben Walsh, now promoted to Admiral after his victory at Neptune Station, commanded the right wing of the human fleet. His ships had been arranged, in a formation that no alien military manual had ever described. Admiral Nash to Admiral Walsh, came the communication. Are your ships ready for the opening move? Ready and waiting, Ben replied. The enemy has no idea what is about to hit them. The hegemony fleet advanced in traditional formation, their massive ships protected by the strongest energy shields in the galaxy. Supreme War Leader Gathron was confident that sheer numbers would overwhelm the humans. All ships, maximum firepower, on my command, he ordered. We will destroy them quickly before they can use their strange tactics. But the human fleet did not wait for the aliens to get within range. Instead, they launched the largest missile barrage in military history. Thousands of human missiles streaked across space, moving faster than anything the hegemony had ever seen. Defensive fire, Gathron shouted. Shoot down those missiles. The alien ships fired their point defense weapons, but human missiles were designed to evade such attacks. They split apart into smaller warheads that spread out like a deadly cloud. The hegemony defenses could not track so many small targets. Explosions began to light up the enemy fleet as the human missiles found their marks. Ship after ship suffered internal explosions as the warheads penetrated their shields and detonated inside their hulls. This is impossible, Gathron's tactical officer screamed. We are losing ships faster than our computers can count. Dr. Patricia Lee watched the battle from her command center and smiled with grim satisfaction. Her missile swarms were performing exactly as designed. Each human ship was carrying 10 times more firepower than the aliens had expected. Phase 2 is ready, she reported to Admiral Nash. All kinetic weapons are charged and targeted. Begin Phase 2, Nash ordered. The human ship suddenly accelerated to combat speed and charged directly at the enemy fleet. To the aliens, this looked like suicide. The humans were outnumbered and charging into the teeth of the hegemony battle line. But human ships were built differently than alien vessels. Their crews could survive acceleration and impacts that would kill any other species. As they closed with the enemy, they fired their kinetic weapons at point-blank range. The effect was devastating. Human railguns fired metal projectiles at incredible speeds directly into enemy ships. Alien shields designed to stop energy weapons offered no protection against solid objects moving at such velocity. Colonel Rick Turner led the ground assault on the hegemony command ship. His team of human soldiers boarded the enemy vessel using techniques that no alien military had ever encountered. Remember, their ship is designed for their physiology, not ours, Rick told his soldiers as they cut through the enemy hull. Use that advantage. The hegemony crew tried to repel the boarders, but human soldiers moved through their ship in ways they could not counter. The aliens were used to fighting in low gravity with energy weapons. Humans could fight in any conditions with any weapons. Within minutes, Rick's team had captured the enemy bridge and taken Supreme War Leader Gathron prisoner. The command ship is ours, Rick reported to Admiral Nash. Enemy commander in custody. The battle was turning into a rout. The hegemony fleet, once the most feared military force in the galaxy, was being systematically destroyed by human weapons and tactics they could not understand or counter. Captain Jake Morrison, now commanding, a squadron of heavy cruisers led the final assault on the surviving enemy ships. His vessels moved through the battlefield like hunters, picking off damaged alien ships one by one. This is Captain Morrison to all remaining hegemony vessels. He broadcast on open channels. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to galactic law. Continue fighting and you will be destroyed. Most of the surviving alien ships immediately surrendered. Their crews had seen enough to know they could not win against human military technology. Within 6 hours, the largest military fleet in galactic history had been completely defeated. Only a handful of hegemony ships escaped to carry word of the defeat back to their homeworlds. In the aftermath of the battle, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. The recordings of the human victory had spread throughout civilized space. Every species now understood that the balance of galactic power had changed forever. Chancellor Ysara addressed the council with a shaking voice. Fellow representatives, we must face reality. Humanity is now the dominant military power in known space. We must decide how to proceed. Admiral Kethvar stood to speak. I propose that we invite humanity to take leadership of galactic defense forces. They have proven they can protect us from threats like the hegemony. The vote was unanimous. Every species in the council agreed that humanity should lead galactic military affairs. Commander Lisa Carter, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, established the new protocols for galactic security from her headquarters on the Moon. Representatives from dozens of species came to Earth to learn from human military doctrine. The age of deception is over, she announced to the assembled alien diplomats. Humanity will no longer hide our capabilities. We will work openly to ensure that no species like the hegemony can threaten galactic peace again. President Helen Crawford negotiated the new galactic treaties from a position of unprecedented strength. The species that had once dismissed humans as primitive traders now competed for human friendship and protection. We do not seek to rule the galaxy, she told the assembled alien ambassadors. We seek to protect it. Any species that threatens peaceful worlds will face the full might of the Human Defense Fleet. Captain Morrison, now Admiral Morrison, oversaw the construction of openly human military installations throughout the galaxy. The secret bases were no longer needed. Human warships patrolled openly, their presence a guarantee of peace for law-abiding species. Dr. Patricia Lee presented her research to a mixed-species scientific council. Alien scientists studied human military technology with amazement and terror. They realized that humanity had revolutionized warfare itself. How did your species develop such advanced military science? Asked a Melody researcher. Patricia smiled. We never stopped being warriors. While other species evolved past conflict, humans brought our fighting instincts with us to the stars. We turned war into a science. The implications of human military dominance spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had harbored aggressive intentions toward their neighbors suddenly became peaceful. Pirates and raiders disappeared from space. Lanes patrolled by human ships, but the greatest change was in how the galaxy viewed humanity itself. No longer were humans seen as primitive traders. They were respected as the protectors of galactic civilization. Danny Brooks, the young engineer who had accidentally discovered the truth about human capabilities, now served as an officer aboard Admiral Morrison's flagship. He often thought about how different the galaxy had become in just a few months. Do you ever regret learning the truth? Admiral Morrison asked him one day. Danny thought carefully before answering. No, sir. I am proud to be human. I am proud that when the galaxy needed protection, it was our species that provided it. The story ended with humanity looking beyond known space. Dr. Lee's research suggested that there might be other civilizations beyond the galactic rim. If threats existed out there, humanity would be ready for them. Admiral Nash stood on the bridge of his flagship and looked out at the stars. Somewhere in that vast darkness might be enemies that the galaxy had never imagined. But humanity had proven that no matter how advanced or numerous their enemies might be, human ingenuity and determination would find a way to victory. The galaxy would never underestimate the species from the small blue planet again. Humanity had taken its place as the protectors of galactic civilization, and they would hold that position as long as threats existed among the stars. The age of human deception was over. The age of human dominance had begun. The first battle happened at Neptune Station, a human outpost that looked small and defenseless. Captain Ben Walsh commanded the defense from what appeared to be a simple mining platform. The hegemony had sent a scouting force of 20 ships to test human defenses before the main attack. General Throckmar watched from his flagship as his advanced ships approached the human position. His tactical advisor, Sub-Commander Valoth, studied the sensor readings with growing confidence. The human station shows minimal power output, Valoth reported. Their weapons appear to be simple kinetic launchers. No energy shields detected. This will be over quickly. Throckmar nodded. Good. We will record this battle to show other species what happens when they resist the hegemony. But Captain Walsh was ready for them. His mining platform was actually a heavily armed battle station with weapons the aliens had never encountered before. As the enemy ships moved closer, he spoke calmly to his crew. Remember, their shields are designed to stop energy weapons. Our bullets and missiles will go right through them. Wait for my command. The hegemony ships opened fire first. Bright, plasma beams shot across space toward the human station. But instead of trying to block the attacks with shields, the station simply moved out of the way. The human structure was much more maneuverable than it appeared. Return fire, Walsh ordered. What happened next shocked every alien in the attacking fleet. Instead of energy beams, the human station fired solid metal projectiles that moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. The bullets punched through the energy shields of the lead hegemony ship as if the shields were not even there. Impossible, Valoth shouted. Their weapons are penetrating our shields. The alien ship shuddered as human bullets tore through its hull. Systems exploded and crew members were thrown to the floor. The captain of the ship had never experienced anything like this. His shields were supposed to protect him from any weapon. Evasive maneuvers, he ordered, but it was too late. A second wave of human weapons struck his ship. These were not bullets, but missiles that exploded inside the hull. The ship broke apart in a flash of fire and debris. Lieutenant Colonel Maria Santos led a squadron of human fighters that launched from the station. To alien sensors, her fighters looked primitive and slow. The aliens had no idea that human pilots had trained their entire lives for high-speed combat. The hegemony fighters moved to intercept her squadron. Their ships were fast and well-armed with plasma cannons. But as they closed in for battle, they discovered something that terrified them. Human pilots could handle forces that would kill any alien. Maria's fighter suddenly accelerated at a speed that should have crushed her, but she remained conscious and alert. Her ship twisted and turned in ways that alien pilots could never match. Target the lead fighter, the alien squadron leader ordered. Concentrate all fire on that primitive ship. But Maria was already moving. Her fighter dodged between the plasma beams and fired back with weapons that worked completely differently. Instead of energy beams, her ship launched swarms of tiny missiles that moved too fast for alien point defense systems to stop. The missiles struck the alien fighters and exploded with tremendous force. One by one, the hegemony ships were destroyed. The alien pilots had no defense against weapons they had never seen before. On Earth, President Helen Crawford stood before television cameras to address the world. For 5 years, most humans had believed they were just peaceful traders in a friendly galaxy. Now she had to tell them the truth. My fellow humans, she began, today our species faces its greatest challenge. We are at war with an alien empire that wants to destroy or enslave us. But I have good news. We are not the weak species they think we are. She explained how human scientists and military leaders had spent years preparing for this moment. While pretending to be simple traders, humanity had built the most advanced space navy in galactic history. Our ships are faster and stronger than anything the aliens have. Our weapons can penetrate their defenses. Our pilots and soldiers are trained to fight in conditions that would kill any alien warrior. We will not only survive this attack, we will win. Back at Neptune Station, the battle was turning into a massacre. The hegemony scouts had expected an easy victory against primitive humans. Instead, they were being systematically destroyed by weapons and tactics they could not understand. Captain Walsh watched as the last alien ship tried to escape. His gunners tracked it easily and fired a final barrage of kinetic rounds. The enemy vessel exploded in a burst of flame and metal. All enemy ships destroyed, his tactical officer reported. No survivors detected. Walsh nodded grimly. Send a message to the main hegemony fleet. Tell them what happened here, let them know what they are really facing. But there were no survivors to send any message. The only evidence of the battle was the automated distress beacon from the hegemony flagship, which had recorded the entire engagement before being destroyed. When the recording reached the main alien fleet, General Throckmar could not believe what he was seeing. His advanced ships, protected by the best shields in the galaxy, had been torn apart by primitive human weapons. How is this possible? He demanded. Our intelligence said they had no real military capability. Veloth studied the battle recording frame by frame. Sir, their weapons are completely different from anything we have encountered. They use physical projectiles instead of energy beams. Their ships move in ways that suggest their crews can survive acceleration forces that would kill us. Admiral Kethvar of the Galactic Council also received the battle recording. As he watched human weapons destroy hegemony ships, he began to understand that everything the Council knew about humans was wrong. Send a message to all Council members, he ordered. Emergency session in 1 hour. We have been deceived. The revelation was spreading throughout alien space. Humans were not the primitive traitors everyone had believed them to be. They were possibly the most dangerous military force the galaxy had ever seen. Dr. Patricia Lee watched the battle reports from her laboratory on the moon. Her weapons had performed perfectly. The kinetic rounds had penetrated alien shields without any problem. The missiles had destroyed targets that energy weapons could not touch. The test was a complete success, she told Commander Lisa Carter. Our technology is superior to anything the aliens have. Lisa nodded. Good, because this was just the beginning. The main hegemony fleet is still coming, and now they know we are not helpless. They will be much more careful in the next battle. Let them be careful, Patricia said with a smile. It will not help them. We have been preparing for this war for 5 years. We know exactly how to fight every species in the galaxy. They are going to learn that humans are not prey. We are predators. The first battle was over, but the war was just beginning. The aliens had finally seen what humans could really do, and the sight had terrified them. But humanity was not finished revealing its secrets. The galaxy was about to discover that underestimating the species from the small blue planet had been the worst mistake in their history. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in their history. Representatives from dozens of alien species gathered in the Great Chamber, all talking at once about the shocking news from human space. Chancellor Ysara of the Melody called for order. Just days ago, she had thought of humans as useful but harmless traitors. Now she was looking at battle recordings that showed human weapons destroying the most advanced hegemony warships. How could we have been so wrong about them? She asked the assembly. Admiral Kethvar stood to address the council. His blue skin had turned pale as he studied the reports from Neptune Station. Fellow council members, we must face the truth. The humans have been deceiving us for 5 years. They are not the primitive species we believe them to be. The chamber erupted in worried voices. Representatives from peaceful species feared what this meant for galactic stability. Military leaders demanded to know how such a massive deception had been possible. That was when Admiral Kevin Nash entered the chamber. He had never been invited to a council session before. Humans were considered too unimportant to have a real voice in galactic affairs. But now, every alien in the room turned to stare at him. Honorable council members, Kevin began. I am Admiral Nash of the Human Defense Fleet. I am here to tell you the truth about my species. He activated a holographic display that showed the real scope of human military development. The aliens gasped as they saw images of massive shipyards that had been hidden throughout human space. Hundreds of warships that had been disguised as civilian vessels. Weapons technology that made their own military hardware look primitive. For 5 years, we have hidden our true capabilities, Kevin continued. We did this, not to deceive you, but to protect ourselves. The galaxy is full of species like the hegemony who destroy anyone they see as a threat. Chancellor Ysara found her voice. But why reveal yourselves now? Because the hegemony has forced our hand, Kevin replied. They threaten not only humanity but all the peaceful species of the Council. It is time for the galaxy to see what we can really do. As Kevin spoke, another battle was beginning near the Xerian colony. This was a mixed-species world where humans, Melody, and other races lived together peacefully. When the hegemony threatened to destroy it, the colonists had requested human protection. Captain Jake Morrison commanded a battle group of 5 human ships that had arrived to defend Xerion. His flagship, now revealed as the heavy cruiser New York's Fury, was accompanied by vessels that had spent years disguised as cargo haulers and research ships. The attacking hegemony force was much larger this time. 50 warships approached. The colony, led by War Commander Gathron. He had studied the recordings from Neptune Station and thought he understood how to fight humans. Their weapons cannot penetrate shields at long range, he told his fleet. We will attack from maximum distance and overwhelm them with plasma fire. But Colonel Rick Turner, a veteran of Earth's Special Forces, was already on the surface of Xerion colony. He had brought a team of human soldiers to help defend the civilian population. As the space battle began overhead, Rick's team took positions around the colony's spaceport. Intelligence reports suggested that hegemony ground troops would try to land and capture the facilities. Remember, Rick told his soldiers, these aliens have never fought humans before. They expect us to behave like other species. Use that to your advantage. The alien ground assault began with energy weapons firing from orbit, but the humans had prepared defensive positions that could withstand orbital bombardment. When the hegemony dropships landed, they found the human soldiers waiting for them. The alien troops were equipped with powered armor and energy rifles. They moved slowly and carefully, using tactics that worked against other alien species. But human soldiers fought differently. Rick's team moved fast and used the terrain to their advantage. While the aliens tried to advance in formation, the humans split up and attacked from unexpected directions. Their weapons were simple compared to alien technology, but they worked reliably in any conditions. Squad leader to all teams, Rick spoke into his radio. Enemy is using standard Council-style tactics. They bunch up behind their shields and advance slowly. Hit them from the sides where their shields are weakest. The battle was over in minutes. The alien ground troops trained to fight other aliens who used similar tactics had no answer for human guerrilla warfare. Most of them were captured without serious human casualties. In space, Captain Morrison was demonstrating the full capabilities of human fleet coordination. The 5 human ships moved as a single unit, their actions perfectly synchronized. War Commander Gathron watched in confusion as the human ships did something impossible. Instead of engaging his fleet directly, they split up and began attacking, from multiple directions at once. They are outnumbered 10-1, his tactical officer reported. Why are they not retreating? Because they have something we do not expect, Gathron realized. Send all fighters to intercept their ships. Do not let them get close. But the human ships were not trying to get close. Instead, they launched waves of missiles from long range. These were not like the slow-moving torpedoes that alien species used. Human missiles were fast and smart and could change direction to avoid defensive fire. The hegemony ships tried to shoot down the incoming missiles, but there were too many of them. Explosions began to light up space as the human weapons found their targets. Impossible, Gathron muttered. Our shields should protect us, but human missiles were designed to work differently than alien weapons. Instead of trying to overwhelm the shields with energy, they were built to punch through and explode inside enemy ships. The alien defenses that had protected them for centuries were useless. Dr. Patricia Lee watched the battle from her command center on the moon. Her weapons systems were performing even better than expected. The human missile swarms were destroying enemy ships faster than the aliens could react. The coordination protocols are working perfectly, she reported to Commander Lisa Carter. Our ships are sharing targeting data in real time. The enemy cannot adapt fast enough to counter our tactics. Lisa nodded as she watched the tactical display. The hegemony fleet was being systematically destroyed by a much smaller human force. How long until they realize they cannot win? Not long, Patricia replied. Their commander is already ordering a retreat. Indeed, War Commander Gathron had seen enough. His fleet was being torn apart by human weapons and tactics he could not understand. Of his 50 ships, only 20 remained functional. All ships retreat immediately, he ordered. We must report back to Supreme Command. But Captain Morrison was not finished. All human ships pursue the fleeing enemy. Do not let them regroup. The human ships accelerated to speeds the aliens had not expected. Their crews could withstand forces that would kill alien soldiers. One by one, they caught up to the retreating hegemony vessels and destroyed them. Only 5 enemy ships escaped to carry word of the defeat back to their main fleet. Back in the council chamber, the alien representatives watched recordings of both battles in stunned silence. The humans had not just won, they had made it look easy. Your tactics are completely different from anything we have seen, Admiral Kethvar said to Kevin Nash. How did you develop such effective military strategies? Kevin smiled grimly. Admiral, every species in this council evolved past their warrior phase before reaching the stars. You learn to be peaceful before you learn to travel between worlds. Humans are different. We brought our fighting instincts with us to space. You mean you are still a warrior species? Chancellor Ysara asked with growing alarm. We are a species that survives, Kevin replied. We do not start fights, but we finish them. The hegemony threatened to destroy us, so we will destroy them first. The implications of this revelation shook the council to its core. For thousands of years, galactic civilization had been based on the assumption that advanced species were naturally peaceful. Humans were proving that assumption wrong. What do you want from the council? Kethvar asked. Nothing, Kevin said. We do not need your permission to defend ourselves. But we are willing to help defend the peaceful species of this galaxy. The hegemony threatens all of us. Commander Lisa Carter received the reports from both battles and smiled with satisfaction. The galaxy was finally beginning to understand what humanity was capable of. But the war was far from over. The main hegemony fleet was still approaching, and they would be much more dangerous now that they knew what they were facing. Send word. To all human fleets, she ordered. Prepare for the final battle. It is time to end the hegemony threat once and for all.